What's up, YouTube? Yoshi here, back with another deck profile. This is the deck that I took to League today, and yeah, I was crushing everyone at League with this deck today. I ended up going 11-0 in games. I was about to finish my last match, but I ended up having to leave. So yeah, I would have been 12-0. That would have been cool. But let's just go ahead and get started with this deck. Very successful today, extremely consistent, and it's Nature Water. So to start out, we've got 3 copies of Prickleback, one of the best turn 1 plays in the game right now. It's such a good card. I mean, when you're playing versus stuff like Rush, and they drop stuff like Blaze Belchers, or Magresses, or stuff like Weaponsmith, Cliff Cutter, and other stuff like that, where if they try to hit you with it, this can just hit them right back, and get rid of the thing in their hand, or get rid of the thing on the field. So basically they have to decide whether they want to attack or not, whether it's the right play. And also, this is just like amazing bait. Alright, I've got 2 copies of Essence Elf. Basically, this card is really good, but I don't think that it's amazing on its own, which is kind of a problem. I don't think that running 3 is that needed because, I don't know. I just feel like this card, there are better cards to run over this card's place. Still a really good card, don't get me wrong, but I feel like sometimes I would rather have like other cards over this. And yeah, I'd rather have more cards that can just work on their own other than having just combo-oriented cards. I ran 2 copies of Razorhide. I didn't actually like this card that much today. Probably going to end up cutting it out. The only problem with it in this deck specifically is that you have so many other turn 3 options in this deck. You know, stuff like Logo Scan and Seneschal, which are just better plays than dropping this card, that it makes this card kind of obsolete. Really, I only ran this because it's a Beastkin, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I can just use stuff like Prickleback as Beastkin fodder and stuff like that. Alright, I've got 2 Bronze Arm Tribes, which I didn't think would be as good as Razorhide's, but I was definitely wrong. This card was probably better than Razorhide. You know, just not having to worry about stuff like Bone Blades and Terror Pit, Root Trap, all that other stuff. I mean, not really Terror Pit and Root Trap, just because like those shouldn't be happening to you if you're dropping Razorhide. I mean, you're probably going to be dropping it on turn 3 if you do, and if they went first, they should be able to respond with the stuff like Return to the Soil, Bone Blades. But if they do that on the Bronze Arm Tribe, then that's not good. So you should be in a good position. You don't have to worry about that. This is pretty much guaranteed to charge, while Razorhide's not guaranteed to charge. I've got 2 Bronze Arm Sabertooths with 7 targets. This card was pretty live throughout the entire day. Amazing card, you know. Of course, with no Summoning Sickness, you can just drop this and just start swinging like crazy. And if they have the Bone Blades or the Return to the Soil and stuff, you don't care because this card's giving you 2 mana. And now you have other stuff for your other plays. You have to play this right, obviously. I mean, like, at some points it will matter when they get mana hit because you do have to -1 to put this card out. But if you do something like, let's say, drop a Bronze Arm Tribe, and then next turn put this on Bronze Arm Tribe, you're not really minusing because Bronze Arm Tribe has helped you. While Bronze Arm Tribe doesn't specifically give you a +1, it prevents you from -1ing in the future, as it makes it so you probably won't have to put a card in your hand into the mana zone some other future turn. So yeah, if you can just use this correctly, then it's a really powerful card, and even if your opponent gets rid of it, you still have other, you know, you get more resources basically for your other boss monsters. Running 1 Gigahorn Charger because it can search out a majority of the boss monsters in here. You can also search out Frogzuka, which was very helpful throughout the day. Crazy how helpful that is. I mean, like, I didn't actually think it would be that good searching for a blocker off of this, but it just gives you so much more utility, and it just, you know, you don't have to run as many blockers because this is basically, it can be a blocker when you need it to be, which is really helpful. And of course, searching for the boss monsters can be helpful. Like on turn 10 one time, I went drop Gigahorn Charger, search for Sabertooth, drop Prickleback, drop Sabertooth, and it's just a really good play. Last nature monster I've gotten here is 1 Terra Dragon Megarian Doom. This card's so broken. I didn't actually think it would be that good, but it's crazy how good this card is. This deck has a lot of easy ramp in here. You know, stuff like Sabertooth, basically giving you 2 when it dies. Bronze Arm Tribe, giving you 1 as soon as it's summoned. Of course, Reap and Sow, which instantly gives you 1 as soon as you play it. It's just like you can drop this on turn 7, 8. I dropped it on turn 6 one time today by doing Razorhide, Bronze Arm Tribe, and Reap and Sow. But yeah, this card's just really good. After you drop it, pretty much you'll be swinging for game. It gets rid of anything that they have. I like to think of this card as kind of like a Milporo almost, because it's just a really good card that just gets rid of pretty much anything. There's nothing that this card can't really get rid of, because I mean, like level 9s, just people aren't really playing them that much. This card can't get rid of Orion or another copy of itself, but that's really about it. I mean, like, when you drop this, you'll be getting rid of something. They'll play something again next turn, and now you just have a 9,000 double breaker. This can get over pretty much anything in the game at the moment. So it's just a really strong card, in my opinion. It's a +1. It's also, this is, like, obviously really good. And, yeah, that's it for the nature monsters. For the nature spells, I've got 3 Reap and Sows. This card's, like, mandatory in any non-rush nature deck. And rush, some people find it to be, like, a little slow. But yeah. Anyways, this card is extremely helpful. Obviously, it not only does it charge you, but it also gives you advantage too. It's not necessarily giving you a plus, but it's still just a really, really broken card. I mean, the fact that it may not be giving you a plus, but it's still one of the best 1-for-1s in the game at the moment. And technically, like I said before, like with Bronze Arm Tribe, it's preventing you from -1ing later, so you can consider it a +1, possibly. Alright, continuing, I've got 3 Return to the Soils with an increase in Rush. I feel like this card's definitely good. Yeah, this card can get rid of, Sabertooths, it can get rid of Dracons, it can get rid of Neurons. Awesome card. Definitely should be played. I've got 1 Tendril Grasp. I only had 1 today. I ended up picking a second one up after all of my matches, but I never actually got time to put it in. This card's broken versus stuff like Rush, obviously, and it's also really good versus Control, which I was kind of shocked about. But, you can hit stuff like Seneschals and early turn blockers and stuff like that. It was really annoying. It's just an overall amazing card. If, some people are like, oh, well, it charges your opponent up. But, if you're playing versus Rush, you don't really care about charging your opponent if you're getting rid of, like, three creatures, even 2 creatures. I don't really care about charging my opponent. If you're getting rid of mass, like, if you're mass removing cards, this card's really good. Alright, continuing the last nature spell, I've got 3 Root Traps. Basically, for the big monsters, you need answers to those 2, and this is an answer to it. Yeah, don't really think I need to explain this. It's basically like Terror Pit. I think if you're running nature, you should be playing Root Trap. There's really no reason why you shouldn't be. That's it for the nature section. Now for the water section of the deck, I've got 3 Refis. Basically, it's just going to be blocking everything. And I feel like when you don't have Emperor Neuron, I think that this card is better over Cyber Sprite and other stuff, because Cyber Trader is okay, but I really only like it when you go turn 2 Cyber Trader, turn 3 Neuron. Not really a huge fan of just Cyber Trader on its own. Outside of turn 2, there are so many better plays that you can do other than dropping a Cyber Trader. And with Cyber Sprite, it's basically a blocker that can be barraged, which I think is a problem. Like, I think the only blocker that's good that has less than 2,000 or less is really Scared Orb of Gloom Hollow. I mean, obviously, like, if you have Neurons, that kind of changes everything. But without Neurons, I don't think you should be running any of the other Cyberlord cards. And Refi is a good blocker, in my opinion, because it hits stuff like Razorhides and Seneschals and other stuff. Speaking of Seneschal, I run 3, because this card is just busted. Amazing on its own. Makes it so, like, if you break a shield, it's like you don't even care. It's like you're getting a draw, helping you out. And, of course, if you run over something like a Blaze Belcher or something, this card can be really helpful, too. Combo with Essence Elf, and it's just really good. I ran 2 Frogzookas because, let's It's not supposed to be there. Alright, 2 Frogzookas. Basically a searchable blocker, which I think is really helpful. And obviously you need something for Yellow Flames, which I didn't run into that many times today. I think I only ran into it like 1 time today. But I definitely don't regret running this card. Very helpful throughout the day. And if it wasn't, it would just get manned. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I ran 2 Milporos because, I don't know, I was thinking about moving it up to 3, but I actually only own 2. And moving up to 3 would just be something I'd like test out, see how it worked. And then I'd just like decide whether I wanted to do it or not. But this card is really good. The only problem is that early game, it's pain to draw. That's pretty much all late game cards, obviously. But yeah, this card is very helpful. I mean, when you do drop this late game, it's crazy how good it is. You know, basically it's like they have anything, you just drop this, then they just go draw, play the same thing again, and just pass. And they can't do anything. They're dropping the same useless creature while you're getting a creature that you can drop, plus you're getting another draw. And yeah, you clog your opponent's draw too, which is really good. Only problem is that 2000 attack makes it susceptible to barrage, which I'm not a huge fan of. The last water monster I ran was Waterspout Gargoyle. Not really a huge fan of this card, actually. It wasn't that good today. I think I would have much rather have ran the 3rd Milporo over this. Bouncing stuff is interesting, and I do like doing combos of this where you bounce, where you go drop this, bounce one of your creatures, bounce this back to my hand, so I can drop it again next turn. Then when you feel like it, you can just drop this, bounce 2 of their cards, and then go for a different play. Like one time today I did that. I had 12 mana, and I had a Prickleback. I just went drop. I just kept bouncing this till I got to 12. Then I dropped this, bounced both of their stuff, and then evolved for Bronze Arm Sabertooth, and it was just really helpful. That's it for the water monsters. For the water spells, I ran 3 logo scans because it's draw 2 cards. Don't need to explain that. Just a broken card overall. 2 spy missions. Basically the same thing as logo scan. I like this card a lot in here because, you know, you can't really get enough of the drawing 2 cards. Once you feel like that you've gotten a decent amount of drawing, then you can just cast these aside. Turn 3 logos, turn 4 spy mission usually isn't the optimal play for me. Usually I like using logo scans and spy missions to turn like 8 and stuff. You know, logo scan, draw 2. I have a whole bunch of options I can do now while I just also got a +1 instead of just going for the logo scan and then just having to end. But obviously turn 3 logo scan, when you back it up with like a turn 2 refi or turn 3 seneschal and then back that up with like a turn 4 spy mission, can be really helpful. Just gaining advantage. And then 1 crystal memory just to search for whatever you need when you need it. I prefer running spy missions over crystal memory. After testing, I think that just getting advantage is better than just searching, because this deck doesn't really have a problem with searching. This deck has so much draw power that you don't really have to worry that much about crystal memory. I don't know, I just feel like there's nothing that you need to really search for most of the time. Usually you're just going to be searching for just like the late game finishers. And honestly, a lot of the time I go crystal memory to search for spy mission and logo scan. And it's just like, why would I not just run like another copy of the spy mission that I can just have that more if I'm trying to search for it. And yeah, so that is my deck. It is 40 cards, and I'll probably be posting a deck list in the description this time because I've never done that before. I figure I'll try it out now. And yeah, hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching, and peace.